All right. The 2025 Syracuse football season is upon us. After a major step forward last year, 10-3, Syracuse coming back. Fran Brown coming back. I'm hyped.
I don't know how you can't be in Central New York, dude. I mean, 10-win season. It's our best year in a long, long time.
And Fran's brought the juice for us, dude. I mean, that's
Oh,
the
we
most
got the
important
energy.
thing. Like the winning is fine. The winning is fantastic. You need it to be successful, but the way he brings the juice for all the people and the way he embraces the community and the community's embraced him, like that's the biggest thing. I feel like we go in every year now like just hyped up for football in a way that we used to for basketball, and in a really sad way, a way that we don't anymore for basketball. We'll touch on that at another time, but man, like this is how I used to feel going into a big season for the basketball team. Where we'd bring in guys like Tyler Ennis and we had Jim Boeheim behind the bench. It was like, man, I'm excited. And that's the kind of energy that Fran is bringing to this football team right now.
It is. We've got that confidence, that feeling like, honestly, we can win every game, which is just not a feeling that we have had at Syracuse in a really, really long time. So yeah, let's jump into it.
Or at least that we're going to compete, right? Because it's not always about winning every game, but like we're going to compete. And like I feel like it doesn't matter what our schedule is year in and year out, which in new college football, that's what it is. Some years you're going to have an unbalanced schedule. Some years you're going to have it really tough. But I don't really care anymore about what our schedule is going to be, because I feel like year in, year out, Fran is going to have us competing.
100%. That's the Dart mentality, dude. We are there to compete every day and get better. And I think 2025, while maybe, and at the end game, who knows? We looks at the onset, might be tough to win 10 games again, but it's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah, let's look at the
Even what
schedule.
will be a
Let's talk
reasonable
about it, because I think that's what you're pointing to when you say like, hey, it's going to be tough to win 10 games again. Look at that schedule.
I mean, it's tough, dude. It's a murderer's row there through that schedule.
You start off with a big game against Tennessee, and I love to see it. I love to compete in these big games. I love to be in them, where it's going to be like an opening weekend marquee matchup. And that's the ABC's time slot at noon. That's awesome. In the Georgia Dome, dope.
I mean, this is what we want as a program. We want to be playing on this stage. And look, I mean, this is an intriguing game now. I mean, Tennessee's got a new quarterback. You got Aguilar coming in.
I'm a big Heupel guy. I think Heupel's fantastic.
Heupel's a great coach, and he's always going to put a solid product on the field with that team. But it's a new quarterback coming from App State. I mean, look, that's a game that we may be able to surprise them a little bit there.
Listen, I think we're going to compete. That's the biggest thing. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying that, because I do think it's true. Like in other years, maybe we just get blown out in that game. I don't think this is other years.
No, I agree. It'll be, and
Moving
it will
on
be
to UConn. We talked about this. UConn's a game I want to be in the dome for. Let's fucking kick their ass. Fuck UConn.
I will say I am impressed by what Jim Mora Jr. is doing at UConn. He's turning that into a legitimate D1 program, at least, which it frankly was not for about a decade. But this is a game we gotta take care of business at home, and I think they should. Honestly, last year we kind of sleptwalked through that game at UConn. I think we make a statement at home.
Moving on to Colgate Friday night. Less said about that, the better. Clemson at Clemson. This is part of the schedule that gets tough, right? Like, not only do we have Clemson on the schedule this year, but it's down there in Death Valley. Clemson's bringing back Cade Klubnik. Clemson's going to bring back around 80% of their production from last year. They're a plus 110 favorite right now to win the ACC. To me, that is a pretty good bet, to be honest. I think Clemson's really good this year. I think that the ACC dark horse team that you might be able to get some good plus money on is Louisville, but I'm not a believer in Carson Beck. I don't love Miami this year. SMU, I think, was good last year. I don't want to say they were fool's gold, because I feel like that's a narrative that's gone around. I think they're a good team, and they're going to be good again this year. I don't know if they're as good as Clemson is. And then, there aren't really many other standouts. Maybe Georgia Tech is a dark horse, but, you really look at it, to me, Clemson is the team in the ACC this year.
I agree. Class of the league down in Death Valley. As much as I hate to say that, as Dabo's number one hater, I agree. Like 80% of their production is back. Klubnik, I think, honestly took that leap finally at the end of last year, and I think this might be a year where Clemson looks back to where they were, 2020, 2021 there at the last.
I mean, let's hold off on he took that leap, because I get it, and I do understand what you're talking about. He played better at the end of the season. His best game was that game against Texas, right, where he did play really, really well in that game against Texas. But SMU game, he was okay in that one. He had some runs because that's what he could do. But other than that, his season was pretty average. Started out bad, got better. He might be able to take a step, but he's not been able to consistently do it at the quarterback position. And he's a Heisman favorite, and that's something I will sell on. I don't think Clemson even needs him to be great to win a bunch of games in the ACC this year. I think they need him to be good and be a game manager. I don't think he's a Heisman candidate.
Yeah, I'm not taking him as the favorite to win the Heisman, but I do think I personally am a believer in Klubnik now. I think he showed a lot towards the end of last year. I do know I'm taking a lot out of that Texas game, which was probably the best game he's played in his career. To be honest, I mean he was great in that game, but also
and he was good in the SMU game, although that's not like the top tier defense. That he was good in that game.
He was. And like those were his two biggest games of the year. And he did rise to those occasions. Look, he was, unreal high school player. I mean, he was coming in as supposed to be the next guy, the next Trevor Lawrence there. And so, but also look, I mean, Syracuse has had a lot of bad luck down at Death Valley, we'll call it. Those games tend to be played 19-11 versus, when you're playing all the zebras out there as well. But this is going to be a tough game. This will be really a measuring stick for the team this year, just to kind of see where we're at. But to be honest, dude, we always play Clemson tough. I just feel like Cuse always does play them tough, and it'll be an interesting game.
Yeah, I mean, moving on then to Duke, we get Duke at home. That's another one I'm circling. I want to go to that game. That could be really fun.
This will be another tough game. I mean, Duke, Manny Diaz has rallied whatever NIL funds he's needed there. I mean, they're bringing in money. They brought in Mensa, who was pretty widely publicized as some multi-million-dollar guy coming in for them. He was very good at Tulane. This is a big game for Cuse at home. This is our first
Tulane's his level. Tulane's Mensa's level. He was good at Tulane, but Tulane's his level. Tulane was good with the minnows. They don't swim with the big boys. We're the big boys now. We'll see. Then we're going to SMU. I mean, SMU's a tough game.
That'll be a tough game. I mean,
that'll be Dallas.
Yeah,
they're in Dallas, right?
They're in Dallas.
They're fucking new to the ACC. They nothing before they joined the ACC. Now they're in the ACC. There's something.
This is a tough game. Going to need a big defensive game here if we're going to stay in that. They're going to be explosive offensively. Jennings.
I do love having SMU in the ACC because Pony Express is a cool 30 for 30.
It's a good brand. I have to give it to them. It is.
Yeah.
Great logo.
That's all. That's about all I got on that. The next game for me is the game I'm circling as my game of the year. Game of the year. I will be in the dome for that game. I will be boots on the ground for that game. We need revenge for what happened last year. What happened last year was a travesty. Narduzzi came out after a bye week and schooled us. He's a great defensive coach. He had schemes ready to go. Kyle McCord was seeing ghosts on the field.
Yeah, this is a game we just Fran wants. Fran's going to have this game circled this year. And frankly, I think the week after that as well, which we'll get to in a second. But we want to get that game here in the Dome. I expect the Dome to be very loud for this game. This will be the game.
Talk about the next week, though. You talk about the next week, and this is where we enter the meat of the schedule because we get Pittsburgh at home, and we're right back on the road versus Georgia Tech, which is a tough game.
Yeah, really tough alternate weeks here. I mean, at home against Pitt, and then you got to go down to Atlanta to play Georgia Tech, who's going to be a very good team. I mean, this is another. Honestly, I think this is your other dark horse in the league to win this year. There's a lot of talent on this Georgia Tech team, and a lot of talent being brought back. And Brent Key, as much as I don't particularly like him, has
Nah,
actually
fuck
done a
that guy.
very
He
good
sucks.
job with this program. And this is a game, frankly, I do think Fran wants to win pretty bad, and I think they will too. This is a game that will be chippy this year.
I'm selling on Georgia Tech this year. I was buying on them last year. You know that. I was in on them Florida State. I was in on them early in the year thinking they were going to be good. I am selling them this year. They am selling the hype. Not ready to live up to it. We then take on, Bill Belichick's girlfriend's coming to the Dome for Halloween.
Yeah, it's true.
Syracuse at Halloween is a great time of year. That's cool. We know how to party up there. And
I'm sure Jordan is going to bring it.
yeah. And the students might really bring it to that game because, the one thing about having Bill in the league is he's going to get eyeballs. So I think you're going to see a big, big, and boisterous Friday night student crowd on Halloween. I mean, we know if we were on campus back in the day, this would have been one. You roll into the Dome. It's basically a pregame for whatever party you're going to at night. And your day starts in the Dome that day. Nothing else before that matters. You maybe get a couple drinks in you at the frat, and you walk into the Dome, and you just let loose for a few hours, and then you go to whatever Halloween party you want to have.
I mean, this will be an electric game in the Dome. I mean, this will be rowdy. The crowd is going to be nuts for this game.
This is another one I want to get to. I would like to get to this one.
This will be an incredible game. I'm almost assured of it. But yeah, this actually, I think North Carolina is honestly the biggest question mark in the league. I don't think anybody has any idea what they are going to look like.
Well, I don't even care to prognosticate this game because who knows? Nobody knows. But I want to see Belichick on the sidelines. I'm just
100%.
hyped to see.
It's
I
going
want
to
to
be
see Bill Belichick fucking pencil in the ear, roaming the Dome sidelines. That's gonna be a cool shot.
How is this not intriguing here? And they're a huge question mark roster. But who knows, man? If Bill can dial up some defensive magic, could be fun. Could be a fun year.
And then we're going at Miami. That's going to be a good game. Miami's another team that I don't really know what to expect from them this year. Not a Carson Beck guy. I said that earlier. I'm selling on Carson Beck. But they're going to bring a good defense this year. And, they're going to be a tough team to beat. We know they're going to want revenge for what happened last year in the Dome. That looks like a tough matchup to me. The next week at Notre Dame feels like maybe the toughest game of the year for us. Notre Dame has consistently been a team we just cannot get at.
No, I mean this kind of goes back to the size points that we've made previously, where Notre Dame has just bullied us in the past. I mean, particularly when you have a 260-pound defensive tackle in the game, you cannot match up with those big boys up front. I think this is. I agree. This might be our single toughest game this year, particularly in November. This game is in South Bend. It's going to be football weather for this game.
The one thing that I might like, and I'm a big believer in Marcus Freeman. I think he's probably the best coach in the country. If it's not Kirby, because he's letting kids kill each other with cars down there. But if it's not Kirby, then I think it's got to be Freeman. I'm a big Freeman guy. I think he's a fantastic coach. I think what he's done there since Brian Kelly has left, not only has he keep that program afloat, but he's really created an identity of toughness in that program, and that's going to be tough to beat. The one equalizer is if it snows and it is a sloppy game. We haven't really touched on the team at all in this, but I'm a big believer in Willis, and I think Willis could have a huge year. And if he's walking in there having a big year, and you get some messy conditions, anything is possible. So that is the one hope I think I hold out for that game. But again, it's a slim hope. I think Notre Dame is going to be very good this year. I think they have a chance to go back to last game of the year. Another game we're going to want revenge for. A great rivalry we have with Boston College. I actually think it's low key one of the cool rivalries in college. Us versus Boston College has been around for a while. We play them every year in basketball, every year in football now, and it's been fun to go to those games. Both we've been to BC, you and I live. We've seen it in the Dome a bunch of times. They've had a couple of classics, both in football and in basketball. So ending the year against Boston College, that's going to be a fun one. That's one I hope we get. But again, Bill O'Brien's another guy who's got that program on the rise.
He does. This is another game I think we just really want this year. That was an embarrassing performance, honestly,
The
last
second
year.
half,
Like,
really.
it really was. Like, that was Fran. That was the most upset I think I've seen Fran as the Syracuse football
As
coach.
he should have been.
I think he felt very demoralized after that. I mean, that was a gut check game. I mean, they just ran it down our throats. I expect us to be very ready in the final game of this season. He will have the boys ready. This is I could close my eyes and mark this as a W for Cuse this year. We will win this game against BC.
I like that. Tav, put it all down.
Oh, we'll put it all on that
Guess
game.
that line. Guess that line. Guess the line for the last game of the year. What's your bet?
I bet by this point, this game is Cuse minus 2.5.
I'm gonna go Cuse minus 6.5. They're gonna give us a full touchdown because we're gonna be much better than people think. And speaking of, we can't really end this without giving what we think our record is gonna be. And I'm gonna shock some people. I'm gonna really shock some people right now. I'm gonna go 9-4 with a bowl game win. So we go 8-4 in the regular season. We get one more in the bowl. We end the season 9-4. We put together a great season. I'll go through quickly what I'm thinking. Tennessee, I'm going to take that as a win. I think we show up, we win. UConn, that's a win. Colgate, that's a win. Duke, that's a win. Pittsburgh, that's a win. Georgia Tech, that's a win. North Carolina, that's a win. Miami, that's a loss. The last win for 8 is going to be Boston College, and then we're going to go get one bowl game. 9-4, another excellent season for Fran. That 5.5 over wins that I'm seeing, smash it.
That's bold. That's bold. I like the optimism here. I mean, look, I would love to see a win in the opening week against Tennessee. I zag on that. I honestly think we're looking at hopefully a 6-6 season. I think we sweep at home. I like the home schedule. I think Pitt, Boston College, again, I think those are games. Those are probably the two toughest games